Prehistoric news you probably missed. From Sci News, Kunbarrasaurus Ieversi, new armored dinosaur species discovered. A new species of armored dinosaur has been identified from bones discovered more than 2 decades ago in Australia. This looks like a typical species of nodosaur, and the nodosaurs were a group of armored dinosaurs that existed from the late Jurassic around 150 million years ago to the very end of the Cretaceous around 66 million years ago. These are closely related to the armored ankylosaurs that existed in the Cretaceous and late Jurassic as well. Both groups, the nodosaurs and the ankylosauromorphs, well, both groups, the nodosaurs and ankylosaurs, are members of the ankylosauromorph family. And how you can tell them apart is that the ankylosaurs usually possess a clubbed tail at the end of their body, whereas the nodosaurs would possess long, wide, spike-like osteoderms surrounding not just their tail, but as well as the sides of their bodies. Whereas this specific species seems to have very small osteoderm spikes sticking out to the side, and then you have even the small amount of armor here around the forelimbs. This is quite common in different species of ankylosaur. Now, the difference between the two is that the heads of the Nodosaurs tend to be much smaller compared to their overall body size, and the Ankylosaurs are much wider. The Ankylosaurs also tend to have much larger horns on their skull compared to the Nodosaurs, which tend to have just much smaller ones. And now, from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. Welcome to Creature Guy Live Prehistoric News. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss any prehistoric news. So let's take a deeper look. Problem with the drawing is that there should only be three clawed toes on this animal, while the other two should be blunt. This new species is one of a group of four-legged armored herbivorous dinosaurs called ankylosaurs, the near complete skeleton of the 100 million-year-old beast, including most of the skull and mandible, along with postcranial material, was discovered in 1989 in the Allura Mudstone on Marathon Station near Richmond, northwestern Queensland, by Mr. Ian Ivers. So, this is a nodosaur coming in from Australia and around 100 million years ago. There have been a wide range of different species of nodosaur coming in or that have been discovered from Australia, but we're looking at individuals that are over 112 million years old, especially with herbivores such as Minmi. So Minmi was like a 10-foot long nodosaur that existed in Australia during the late Aptian stage of the Cretaceous, around 112, 115 million years ago, and probably didn't weigh much more than 200 to 300 pounds, or a little over 160 kilograms. But new research led by University of Queensland paleontologist Lucy Leahy has revealed the specimen is a distinctly different species than previously thought. When it was first studied back in the 1990s, it the fossils placed it in the same genus as Australia's only other named ankylosaur, Minmi, which is based on some bones from Roma in southwestern Queensland. So it also likely is closely related to Minmi. Really should be just simply Ankylosaur morph. When you use the term ankylosaur, even though sometimes it can refer to anybody within the ankylosaur lineage, usually, we see it as in the paleo community, something like a Euoplocephalus, an Ankylosaurus, not so much a Nodosaur like Mimi. The find is one of the best preserved ankylosaur fossils in the world and the most complete dinosaur so far discovered in Australia. Miss Leahy and her colleagues named the new ankylosaur Kunbarrasaurus ieversi, a reference to the man who first found it. Now let's take a look at another creature from the Mesozoic. This animal is not often talked about. This is Dandakosaurus, which is a member of the Avarostia lineage of theropod carnivorous dinosaurs. It lived in India around 180 million years ago. So, this was during the early Jurassic, shortly after animals such as the more famous Antarctic Cryolophosaurus had evolved, as well as the New Mexico, or not New Mexico, Arizona Dilophosaurus had evolved as well, and it was much bigger. This predator could reach over 33 feet in length or pushing 10 meters. This looks like a juvenile. It's very possible it might have had feathers. Um, and probably weigh up to 3 tons. So for the early Jurassic around this stage, this is immense for a carnivore. The only other dinosaurs at this point, and that might have even been later in time, Megalosaurus had not evolved yet over in England. So this was probably one of the largest carnivores at this point, preying on different species of sauropodomorph, as well as probably the early Theresophians that had um, Eurytherians that had existed at this point. So early relatives of the stegosaurs and ceratopsians. So let's head back to the article. The species name honors Mr. Ian Ivers, discoverer of the holotype. Name therefore means Ivers shield lizard. That sounds powerful. The generic name combines Kunbarra, the Maya, Wunumara word for shield, and Suros, the Greek word for lizard, and is a reference to the animal's heavily ossified skin. So let's see. Kunbarrasaurus iversi skeleton. Wow, this is really good to see. I mean, immensely um this is immensely well preserved. Wow. I mean, you can just see all of the preserved armor. That's great. The tail, um, even the different parts of the rib cage, the skull. This is really good to see. I mean, considering I'm not sure if we know the size of this animal at the moment, but it's just really good to see. According to the team, Kunbarrasaurus iversi had a parrot-like beak, bones in its skin, and an inner ear similar to a turtle. Huh, that's interesting. Our work has also revealed that Kunbarrasaurus is more primitive than the majority of other well-known ankylosaurs from North America and Asia. It appears to represent an early, less heavily armored member of the group, close to the point at which the ankylosaurs diverged from the other main lineage of armored dinosaurs, the stegosaurs. That was far before this point in time. But let's take a look at another creature. So this animal is the Fukui raptor, which is a likely member of the Megaraptoridae lineage of theropod dinosaurs, or even the Coelurosaurs. So Fukui raptor was probably somewhere around pushing 18 feet in length, around 5 meters, and probably weighed somewhere around what was it? Like maybe 900 pounds or pushing a little over 400 kilograms, and is from Japan. This animal was probably feeding on different species of smaller sauropod dinosaurs at the time, maybe in different species of ornithopods or earlier species of guanodontids. Now, this depiction is a bit off. Honestly, this looks like somebody took a Jurassic Park raptor and just added a bit more length to its arms and maybe a bit more life. But this is a much better reconstruction. This Megaraptor was a bit more lightly built compared to other members of its group, at least when it comes to the arms and the overall structure. But the head, despite being a member of the Coelurosaur group of dinosaurs, it actually has a skull structure that looks more of like a Carcharodontosaur, despite not being closely related to any of the Carnosaurs. It was originally presumed, however, to be a member of the Carnosaur family, but then that was disputed a bit later on. Now let's move on to another creature from the Mesozoic. Somebody from South Korea. This is Ceratops. And no, doesn't look like there have been any species of dinosaurs that have been discovered in North Korea, just to mention. So, Ceratops is a very unique individual when it comes to the Ceratopsian lineage. Not necessarily for its small size, but for just the overall shape of its body. It's very likely that this animal had an extremely elongated tail structure. Why though? This is something that we see in tails like of Spinosaurus. So the question is, would this have helped it when it came to swimming? And was this species of ceratopsian an aquatic animal or semi-aquatic? Was it feeding on different species of aquatic vegetation like today's sea cows or even green sea turtles? Or was it just simply on land? It was used as a display structure. It's a very small species of ceratopsian. Looks like over here some species of Korean dromaeosaur, probably related to Velociraptor. Oh, so this animal existed in the region around 102 million years ago. I think I forgot to mention with Raptor, this was around 120 million years ago within Japan. But Korea ceratops being 4 feet long and probably not weighing much more than uh, 40 to 50 pounds or around 20 kilograms. And it was just simply, if it was terrestrial, it's probably feeding on a wide variety of different species of ferns, maybe even certain types of seeds and different types of flowers within the region. Also, it was originally presumed to be its own um, or more closely related to earlier species of ceratopsians, such as the Psittacosaurus. However, it looks like this animal is actually more closely related to the Protoceratopsidae lineage of horned dinosaurs and more closely related to animals such as Protoceratops, despite Protoceratops not evolving until around 70 million years ago in Mongolia. So, let me know what your favorite species of let's see, armored dinosaur is. And from prehistoric to present, my name is Ethan. This is Creature Guide Live Daily News. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you love talking about animals, and share this show with everyone you know, because nothing is better than all animals all the time.